Start of a new podcast, mate. Exciting times.
Start of the end of the football season as well. Maybe that's something we should cover this weekend.
We don't usually. It's fine.
No, but I feel like this weekend it's almost vital that we do because it's big for a lot of people.
All right. I mean, I suppose as a Liverpool fan getting top four, you'd be quite happy about that.
That would be pretty good. I mean, you know, are you going to be placing any bets this weekend?
I usually do. I like a bet.
Yeah.
Partial to a bet.
I do too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who are you betting on?
I'm Liverpool, obviously. I'm going to be using Quiff this weekend. For my bets this weekend. Yeah, I'm going to be... because when you place a bet, you stand the chance of having your odds quiffed.
Are you reading this?
No, I was just
What's
down.
Quiff?
It's sometimes a Quiff might be a small boost, say, or...
What is Quiff?
Well, it's an app that you can download, which I probably will be making sure is in the description, so you can go and download it yourself.
Have you done a betting sponsor? Well, why have you got... What's that?
Just reading some texts from the guys at Quiff.
I told you not to do this without telling us.
Well, if you get the app, then I can show you, and maybe I'll help just supercharge your odds.
All right, then.
Do you want to do that now?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, to be honest, it does sound like a good app.
Well, the thing
Quiff.
is, it's just like it brings random acts of kindness, Brian, and that makes betting experience more and more exciting.
You are really...
No, I'm just looking down. It's the way I'm my new podcast style. Sometimes I'll just talk like this.
I'll have a little...
So say you want to back Liverpool, like I do.
Uh-huh.
You just go on the app.
Uh-huh. All right.
You can place that
I'll
bet.
do with that now.
Yeah, open it up. Good. Got it?
Good.
Click the link in your description.
Yeah.
So say that you wanted to place a bet on Liverpool to win. So you go on that one there, which
Liverpool,
is 1 to 12, and then you place bet.
All right.
And then, look, you've also got the option to undo it if you don't want to do that, but it goes through.
I'm going to do it.
You're pretty sure of that, right?
I'm not going to undo it.
Actually, that's a good idea, isn't it?
And the odds have been quiffed to 9 to 10.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
That's better.
Charitable. Love it.
That is actually quite cool, isn't it?
Done.
So straight away you know that they've been quiffed to that odds. That's great. So the link to Quiff is in the description. Check it out and see what boosted odds you get. It's good fun, which it actually just was.
You can stop reading that now.
No, and worth a go.
I've done it now.
For the last day of the Premier League season.
I've already agreed with you.
It says it's always good fun. And you...
it is good fun. I've actually enjoyed that.
And you have to punt on the final set of games, which will be this weekend. Go and take a look.
All right, then. I will. Why are you still talking like that?
Download Quiff. It's great.
Got some raspberries there.
Yeah. Raspberries are my favourite fruit.
I suppose that'll keep them happy. They've been moaning about the lack of cacti.
Do you want me to...
Some people have been moaning lately about the table as well. Bring back the old table. It will make for a better viewing experience.
Someone said that the other day.
It really annoyed us that because I'm looking at the comment thinking, do you ever think we kind of get the old table? Do you ever think that there's a reason behind we having to use this pile of shit? Did you ever think that? Do you know what I mean? I'm doing my best. If he wants to carry from his house a fucking table for me to fucking use, bring it. Just bring it, in the words of The Rock.
Raspberries are great.
Fine.
Do you think that was like what The Rock was doing, trying to promote his removal company?
Yeah, just bring it.
Just bring it.
Hashtag just bring it.
The Rock removals.
That actually would have done really well. I want to start off by talking about guests, mate, to be honest.
Can we have The Rock?
We're getting,
every other YouTuber's had The Rock.
A few people are, saying, well done on guests. Some people complaining about guests. Doing my best, regardless. It's hard.
Yeah.
You go and you approach people. We've been lucky lately. I feel like we've done well lately.
Very.
But, still, it's not easy. I get people saying the same names every week. If you're still saying the same name every week, there's a good chance I've already approached them and they're either on the way of coming or they've said no or they can't make it or whatever's the issue. Some people who you wouldn't expect to say no.
Yeah, who?
Or ignore you.
Cal Freezy.
There was one person, no, he said yes twice.
All right.
There was one person, a porn star, who, just to be clear,
that's a be a good story.
She has no qualms about taking a 12-inch dick in her arsehole, but yet having second thoughts about the podcast. So,
I think that probably says more about the podcast than you.
That's the kind of show we run, mate. It's.
Why do you think she would? Do you really want to come on the podcast and answer a load of questions about it? Do you think
she's done other shows?
Has she?
She's a self-proclaimed attention seeker, so she's done.
Wow.
She's done lots of other things. Why not crack on the True Geordies?
Do you think do you think she thought it was maybe too highbrow?
I don't know. I've seen some of this. She's very keen at our work.
I don't know who you're talking about, and you will name her, but I don't know who that is.
We'll leave it at that.
Leave it because she might come on.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get her on still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's been saying for a while a porn star would give us something a bit different.
We're trying to get Tommy Robinson. Just doesn't seem to...
He's one who's being suggested a fuck ton. Tommy Robinson.
He's a poster child for, I don't quite know he's a poster child for now, but he's definitely a poster child.
He's a big name.
He's a poster child for entitled people, yeah.
I think he's a big name. I've watched him on some other stuff where...
What's he a big name in? Question time.
The problem I've got with getting someone like that on is in a way, if you get someone on the show, it can be seen like you're backing this person.
Yeah.
And he has said some and done some things in the past where I'm like, I wouldn't do that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So lately, he's putting a suit on and he's going on shows and he's coming across as quite educated lad, to be fair to him. But then, you look back a few years ago, he's got his England shirt on and his David Beckham sunglasses, bleach tips in his hair, and he's screaming all sorts of stuff to foreigners and that. And it's like, I don't know, has he said that he's not proud of those actions? He's done so many things in the past where, for me to get him on, it's quite difficult.
I also think it would be really unfair to bring a guest on who said some stupid things in the past, maybe on Snapchat or wherever, and question them about it for almost 2 hours. It would be really unfair. And make them talk about those things that maybe they regret now. Yeah. I mean, it's also very presumptive to think that he regrets it now. Maybe he might still agree with those things.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Maybe we will get him on.
Part of me thinks, yeah, let's get him on. Part of me thinks, I want to talk to this guy. I want to hear what his views are. I want to know why part of me is interested in why he's so popular.
I think he says things that a lot of people think. Not
what I need to go for shit now.
Yeah, but he's obviously speaking for quite a big amount of people in Britain.
Tommy Robinson go boo-boo.
Who are viewed as racist because they don't appreciate...
Like people of another race.
He's obviously speaking against Islam. He's got a fundamental problem with everything that's going on in it. And I've seen him have arguments with Muslim people on shows and come across as quite educated on the Quran and that. He's obviously read it thoroughly.
Do you think that means that he's right, though?
No, not at all. But what I'm saying is that idiot who was in the England shirt years ago...
David Beckham.
He looked like a fucking moron when he was going on like that. But what I'm saying is now... He's obviously trying to turn things around a little bit. So
the pig's wearing lipstick.
He gets taken more seriously. He's trying to get taken more seriously.
Good luck with that. Yeah, a lot of people say it. I mean, I had a kid the other day. I had a 15-year-old. I won't name him, but he messaged me
Instagram
on somewhere. Yeah. Anyway, he messaged me, and he said, "I think you've." What did he say? Should I find the messages?
Yeah,
this is quite interesting. He said, hello. I said, hi. He said, sup, man? How's your white male guilt treating you? I said, I don't know. Haven't had any lately. He said, well, maybe not recently. Anyway, when's the next podcast out? Like I'm the Radio Times.
To be fair, I just want to make it clear for everyone complaining about iTunes, Laurence is in charge of that.
Yeah.
Blame him.
I said, it's out on Thursday. You should really say essentially, and in that sense more. You really neglect those phrases.
Get to the point where he starts criticising.
I said, yeah, I'm great. He said, sick podcast. You can't. He said, sorry, mate. Seems you're too big time to respond to the appreciators. I then said, imagine.
You have to get all the little nuances that you get in.
What I'm doing is I'm setting the scene of what is a very bland conversation.
With a kid.
I didn't know he was a kid at this point. So one week you're promoting and glamorizing drug use with a successful poker player. The next, you're condemning it with a former addict. You say you have a huge audience of mostly impressionable kids. You might want to consider your actions and what you're endorsing. That's you.
He's got us.
Putting those things in my head.
Barrel that we are a bunch of fucking hypocrites, to be fair to him. He's nailed it.
So you think that talking about drugs is endorsement of drugs, do you?
I mean, obviously he's talking about that shit. He's just trying to get a rise out of you, and clearly it worked because now he's got his 15 minutes.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
I haven't named him.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll have his little...
No one will ever know who you are. You're watching this now. No one gives a fuck what your name is.
Do you think you endorse drugs?
I've never once said it is good to take drugs, so because of that, no.
Do you think saying that you enjoyed drug experiences is endorsement of drugs?
I also come out and say is probably, I love a good cheeseburger. It doesn't mean I think you should go out and have a cheeseburger right this second.
Right, but cheeseburgers are not...
Got Lucasade here.
Are you addicted to that?
Doesn't mean, unfortunately, no. Anthony Joshua's getting all that cash.
What was quite funny was in this conversation, and I sometimes do it because I'm just entertained by it, and he kept using the phrase "world of drugs." And first of all, it made me think of like a DFS place where you walk in and there's just piles of drugs, and you go, "Can I have some?"
So we had a poker player on.
Do you think you endorsed entering, as he puts it, the world of drugs?
As in the world we all live in.
The world of drugs.
Well, all I'm trying to put across here is different stories from people who've had real lives, and I'm trying to give them, the right questions to get that out there. And if he happens to have taken drugs before, that's part of the real world we're living in. To ignore that and to pretend like it doesn't exist,
it's disingenuous.
Is bullshit. And equally, by having someone on like Paul Hannaford, we're also showing if you do not take it in moderation and you do go off the deep end, this is exactly where you could end up. We're showing the pitfalls, the dangers. If anything, I think we've discouraged more people from taking drugs than any other podcast in the world in the last 2 weeks.
It would depend. So, well, apart from the anti-drugs podcast, they really are good at that.
Is there
Although, if anything, I actually think there's probably an issue with that podcast in that they're a bit too self-righteous. I put it to you, though, sir, that because you have such a young, impressionable audience, when you say, hey, I enjoy this, they all go, because he messaged me and he said, after watching the podcast with the poker player, I felt like I was more likely to take drugs.
He's such a dick.
And I sat there thinking, so what, mate? Like, I remember when I was 15, all my mates took drugs.
I mean, I did a cautionary tale, The man who thought he was the Mars bar and threw himself out the window.
Good point.
That's exactly why psychedelics might not be for you.
But I put it to you, what if someone wants to be a Mars bar?
If they want to be a Mars bar, then, go to the Mars bar factory and see what they can do for you, because he just thought he was a Mars bar.
And I think
he wasn't actually a Mars bar, which is why he died.
And ultimately, that's the answer for us all, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Mars bars. Now, that is something I definitely do endorse. I bloody love, but I like a Mars bar when it's been in the fridge.
Why?
I don't like it when it's all sitting at room temperature, melting a little bit. I like it hard and cold. A bit like life.
Yeah, like you like your women.
Unfortunately.
Hard and cold, yeah. Heartless.
Yeah.
Dead.
No, not dead. I'm not a...
No.
Do you know that there's people who are into necrophilia, it's called?
No, I'm quite aware of what that is, yeah. Yeah. Do you think that's weird?
Oh, mate, are we really going to go down this? Or there's nothing we won't talk about?
Well, I mean, it's just more that you felt you looked a little bit uncomfortable, so I wanted to take it away from the fact that you're ultimately responsible for an entire generation of children.
Do I ever want to? But, oh, fuck me, I was watching a TV show a while back called Britain's Darkest Taboos.
Yeah.
Or something along those. I think it was on Crime Investigation. They've been in contact, by the way. Just saying.
They wondered if you could stop mentioning them.
There was one young fucking horrible little bastard who invited a girl round who was just a friend, and she went round as a friend. He was a bit of a weird guy, and little did the family of the girl know that he had a dark history, internet. He was really into gruesome shit, and he killed her. And then he proceeded to take photographs of him having sex with her body in every room of the house and that. And it's like, that really fucked me up when I was watching it, because like,
which taboo was this?
Well, I'm
killing and then fucking.
Necrophilia, I guess, is what it
I guess so.
falls into. But
I mean, that's really quite mild, calling it a taboo, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it was called.
It's a taboo to sort of, smoke indoors or something. To fuck a dead body on the couch.
Taboo is like wanting a hand job off your sister, isn't it? That's not really the same.
It's not fucking a dead girl.
Yeah, well, anyway.
What a taboo.
This is so...
He's doing taboos again in the living room.
The family aren't going to see this podcast, hopefully. That's... To
be fair, it's been on a show which trivialises it.
It really did trivialise it, though, because I was watching it, and on the intro, it like has blood trickling down, and I'm like, imagine you're the family watching this documentary back, and the blood's trickling down. It's like, can we just make it a little bit more clinical, professional?
Yeah.
Bit
more. Can we have a bit more professionalism, please, on Dave? Thank you. Sorry, what's the channel?
CI.
CI. Crime Investigation.
That's the one.
Brilliant.
I love that channel.
I can tell white people, and I'll put it that white people love crime.
Racist.
They love watching shows about crime. We do.
Why?
Look at Netflix.
I just find...
We love crime.
No, not crime. I find difference interesting. So if I was to just invite any old random cunt on this show, people would be like, yeah, the guests have dropped right off, haven't they?
Yeah.
They'd be straight in criticising us.
Yeah. And in many ways, that's a crime against entertainment.
But yeah.
So what other taboos were there?
It was like snap women who kill sort of style shit, when there was one guy who had got his wife
what taboo?
in the car. They'd been on holiday and she'd said on the holiday, that's it, it's over. He was a fucking nut job, clearly. So they're driving on the way home and there's like footage from the motorway and you just see the car veer off the motorway at like 70 mile an hour. So they're basically...
I genuinely think at this point, sorry, you've gotten the wrong title of the show. I mean, it's got to be.
Britain's Darkest Taboo.
Yeah, again, it's not a taboo to drive at 70 miles an hour and then just veer off the motorway. No, that's not a taboo. What a taboo.
I think it might have been called that, I swear.
It's not.
Okay.
No one thinks that fucking a corpse is a taboo.
I'm going to Google it right now.
Taboo.
I'm Googling it right now. Don't fucking call me a liar.
It's just so funny that you think veering off the motorway.
I haven't told them that either. Right? I'm not very well.
No, you are on the edge.
You're criticising an unwell man. I hope you're happy with yourself.
Mentally and physically.
Get him in the comments.
Tell him in the comments. Tell him how left wing he is and whether it matches his left wing values. I mean, the fact is, it matches my left wing values.
Britain's Darkest Taboos.
If you want, you could go to a doctor for free because you're on the NHS. Left wing.
So these are the episodes. All right, I just want to read some of the.
It's not a taboo.
But this is
killing someone's not a taboo.
These are the episode guide.
A taboo is sort of taking a shit in public. That's taboo.
That is taboo. Or fucking a girl's arsehole until she shits. That would be a taboo.
I'd say that's definitely a sexual taboo.
Yeah.
But that's also sort of a fetish.
Some of the episode words are, our father killed our mother.
Not a taboo.
My stepfather took my sister as a lover.
That's taboo. That is taboo. Taboo or not taboo?
That is the question.
That is the question.
All right, we've done that now.
Taboos.
So yeah.
What a big taboo.
I would fancy being a presenter on Crime Investigation. I'd love to do like my own sort of search into crimes. Let me and you go on.
Yeah.
Look over unsolved
crimes,
mysteries and that.
Do you ever worry that if you do unsolved crimes that you're going to dig something up that maybe, let's move the cacti now. Do you ever worry that if you're doing that, you
like Fred and Rose
you unearth
West.
Something.
So one day we're like looking for the missing children and they're underneath the patio.
And it just so happens that for some reason the evidence leads back to your house.
That's fucking mad that they did that though, isn't it? That they had buried kids.
Wait, did they work for Crime Investigation?
No, they didn't.
Right, okay. They were two presenters who had a podcast at the time.
I'm guessing he was just a builder or something. I can't remember what his job was.
What a taboo. Yeah. And so...
Oh, we're making light of this.
Man. We're not making light of it. It's more the use of the word taboo that I'm making light of.
I think they really could have retitled the show after
like maybe killing others. Killing others.
Killing people.
#taboo.
White people watch this.
White people watch this. You know what? You know what I love? I saw a poster from just before the Second World War, or maybe it was just after the Second World War.
I mean, you weren't alive then, so how did you manage that?
They have archives. You go to a museum or something.
Oh, you love a museum. Love a good museum.
I do love a museum. And it just said, it was quite, like nowadays, it's like, considering, blah, blah, blah. Pro Sport just went, buy rice. And I thought, yeah, it's good advertising, isn't it? Like now it's like, what are you thinking? Maybe you should consider the new iPhone 7. But in the past, it was just like, get soap,
Yeah, very straight to the point.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that, like just download podcasts and just have it as called that.
Some people, I suppose the hashtag is sort of like that, isn't it?
#United, do you mean? Or just
no, I mean hashtag, not #United. Yeah. Good guys, though. That is a taboo.
What goes on in those locker rooms is definitely
taboo. Yeah, but not.
We're not going to talk about that yet.
Yeah. But so
you enjoy watching shows where people kill people.
I like a documentary type shit. I also like Disappeared, which is a show about people who disappear, and then on some episodes they find them, and then some they don't, and you always left. I like the ones where they never find them more because I'm always left wondering, like, I wonder what happened.
I wonder where they were
hiding. I love mystery. I love trying to solve mystery. Like, why are certain YouTubers getting so many views? I'll never know.
But also, where have other YouTubers' views gone unhidden?
Yeah.
You know, imagine if we did that as a parody where we were sort of this man's views disappeared.
So you've got your big fucking magnifying glass out.
One day, all my views, they just disappeared. It's as if, and then the conclusion of the documentary is, you're just boring. And then he veers off the motorway at 70 miles an hour.
I've actually got, when we're talking about guests and that coming on the show, I recently got Tyson Fury's phone number.
Wow.
Maybe I could give him a ring.
Yeah,
get him
I mean, he'd probably be good at making people disappear.
Ring him up and.
What would you say to Tyson? How would the phone call go?
Hello, Tyson, mate.
How'd you get this number?
A friend.
Stop calling. I'm the heavyweight champion of the world.
I'm probably bigger than you, mate. So you probably want to listen to.
Do you think you are bigger than him?
Nah, he's 6'6".
But he
ballooned up recently as well to 26 stone.
How hard? You know, to get to 26.
To be fair, in my heaviest, I was about 25 and a half.
But that was pure muscle.
Well, no, it wasn't. It was,
wasn't it?
No, it was bulk. It was buy-in bulk.
What percentage muscle? Quite heavy, though. A lot of muscle.
It was quite a lot of muscle, but I was still fat. I was still a fat cunt.
So do you think you endorse drugs?
No.
Do you think I endorse drugs?
I think I endorse alcohol a bit.
That's a bit much. There was a study the other day that said that Radio 2 in England, which is like a BBC mainstream station, endorsed casual drinking too much.
Yeah.
And so presenters would go, I was in the pub the other night, a bit too much, and so it would like normalise it. And now that's what I thought was a bit weird. They said that was encouraging people to go and drink in the pub.
I'm fucking sick of what a fucking PC society we're living in. It's a fucking joke.
Can you not drink in the pub anymore?
Do you know what I mean?
Can normal guys just not have a drink?
You know?
Two straight guys just having a drink is often the way that I'll introduce a pub session.
Where the fuck is this podcast gone? I've got no idea.
I think you worry that if we don't talk about sex, drugs, rock and roll, gang rape, then we lose the viewers.
That's not at all. I'm a bit ill and I'm wondering what the fuck am I talking about. Do you know when you have a moment where you're halfway through a conversation, you're like, what am I even saying?
Yeah. Many times. Yeah. All the time almost.
After you've been smoking drugs.
Yeah, I don't smoke drugs. You can't smoke mushrooms. Anyway, I don't. And I wouldn't endorse it either. So what, I was supposed to say something at this point. I absolutely don't endorse drugs, and I think they're a bad idea. If you're under any age, don't do drugs.
Right.
Do you think some drugs should be legalised?
Yes.
Which ones? The ones?
The psychedelics, possibly, but mainly, you've got to legalise weed. It's a joke.
Do you think...
I'm sick to death of having to meet that guy behind the shops. It's doing me head in. I just want to go into the shops and buy it.
Yeah.
Take me tax.
And
sort the NHS with it.
So long with, I mean, a blowjob takes ages as well, doesn't it?
They should legalise weed. It is harmless compared to. I think
it's a gateway drug, is what a lot of people say.
All right, fair enough. But
a gateway into the world of drugs.
Well, alcohol is a gateway into the world of alcoholism. Like you know,
cheeseburgers are a gateway into the world of fat.
Being a fat cunt. Extremists will be extremists. It doesn't matter whether they're into weed, alcohol, cigarettes, food, whatever they're into. Extremists will just fucking do shit to the extreme.
What do you think you are addicted to? Making good content.
I am quite a classic extremist in many ways. Mm-hmm. So, but I don't take things to the extent other people do. So I take things just far enough that I can live a life where I come across as normal, but the whole time behind the scenes,
you're a sociopath.
I'm doing everything as much as I possibly can.
Wow. That's such a sort of weird quote that could get taken out of context anywhere, really, isn't it?
You could take that anywhere.
Behind the scenes, I'm just doing anything as much as I possibly can. What?
But the good thing is, I've really been so vague that plausible deniability
that
is
could mean anything.
Could mean anything, but
yeah.
it means everything.
Do you enjoy everything?
I literally. So if you look at life like. a cloth that's being sort of in the tub, you know, and you just pull it out and it's dripping wet, I am just wringing that fucking cloth right out to get as much out of life as possible, mate.
Well, sometimes you
if
dunk
one
it back in
day,
the tub.
I want to make this quite fucking clear, because I might never reach an age where I can do an autobiography.
Yes.
If one day I fucking die, just know that everything you think I was probably doing, I was doing way more than that.
Right. But if you do get to court, you weren't doing it an unreasonable amount.
No, not at all, mate.
No.
Not at all. Within the limits. As I say, I push everything to the limit so where I can still operate at a fully compass mentis level.
Right.
Yeah? I'm still able to drive. I'm still able, but within the boundaries of what is respectable. So what I'm saying to you is, I endorse enjoying life, and I don't endorse drugs.
Yes. And also me.
He must be going crazy listening to this conversation.
Well, what was funny was he then said,
rat bastard.
He then said, get Tommy Robinson on the podcast.
Did he?
Yeah. See, he also sent me clips of the podcast, and he said it was very irresponsible the way you act.
The way I act?
Well, both of us. He
Get
said,
fucked, pal. You don't have to watch.
It's true.
That's the ultimate cop-out. I know it is, but...
It really is. Well, if you don't like it, don't watch.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really the way it works.
Sorry, I channeled Robbie there.
It's true. I mean, if you don't like it, then don't turn it on.
Yeah. I know it's a cop-out. I admit it's a cop-out, but I think I'm a little irresponsible in the sense that I probably endorse drinking too much. I probably swear a bit too much.
What about sex? Do you think you do that a
But I
bit?
think that how real I am towards younger people, and I don't bullshit them the way other people do. I feel like they could email me in and say, I'm having this problem, Geordie, I'm having that problem, Geordie. And I will literally talk to them.
Yeah. On a level.
I talk to them like I talk to my best friend. So as far as I'm concerned, I might not be Mr. Perfect, but out of all the YouTubers, I connect a lot with my audience. I'm always trying to help, and I give them a real solid advice. So I might not be perfect, but I am the best, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Sort of. The best YouTuber in the world.
Okay. When you get sick, do you stop? What do you do when you get sick?
I push through, to be honest, mate. I'm not in a position right now where I can give myself breaks.
Take a break.
Nah, I can't take breaks. I'm a fucking slave to what I'm doing, really. To be honest,
Do you love it?
I love most of what we make. I do. The only thing I find a pain in the arse is the football hangover sometimes.
Yeah, you can tell.
Because there's times where I don't want to have to watch all of that football. I just want to make the video, but in order to do a video like that, you have to really know what you're talking about, you know?
That's what we were talking about with Hugh, weren't we? Where you've got to watch all the football in order to talk about it.
Yeah, it's a fuck on. Sometimes I haven't got time, but I have to. When people are like, well, why is the hangover out a day late? And it's like, I just hadn't watched all those matches. I just watched Newcastle instead. You know?
And you needed time to watch PSG, Real Madrid.
It's the same old. To be honest, I should cover the teams in the bottom half of the league more. But at this point in the season, unless you're getting relegated or you're getting top four, no one gives a shit.
Do you know what I did find weird was you sort of went semi-viral in the Spurs world, didn't you?
That was weird, wasn't it? The thing is, in a 15-minute video, you know, you get a lot of bang for your buck on my channel.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For free.
But the Spurs fans love what you say because you basically qualified why they weren't bottle jobs.
Well, I backed them up a little bit because I look at them now and I think I'd fucking love Newcastle to be in their position. They've grown a team from a young lad like Harry Kane, who I suppose is like their Shearer back in the day. They've brought Del Alli in, who Newcastle were interested in, bottled it. Ericsson, Newcastle were interested in him, bottled it. They got them for about 17 million. I don't think they paid that much for Son.
No.
All right, Lamella was quite expensive, but he hasn't really featured
yeah.
as much this season.
No, weirdly.
And in Dyer and players like that, they've got a good spine. I look at them and I think, with the amount of money that Man United and Man City spent, with the squad Chelsea have got, you would have thought that those probably would have been the three superpowers this season.
Yeah.
Maybe Arsenal, maybe Liverpool. I think Spurs were the least pressure on them out of everyone to perform. So for them to get second and finish so far ahead of Man United and City in terms of points, pat on the back, really.
Well done, you.
Yeah. The Spurs fans seem to get behind us a little bit.
Yeah, they did. They liked it.
Yeah.
Some of them said, I don't normally watch this guy, but I like what he says here. How many people do you think say that about you?
I don't know. What is funny is because we talked to Schaefer the other day and he was on about Facebook. So I thought, you know, I'm going to give Facebook a little bit of a go and put some videos out on Facebook and see what the response is.
Oh, no.
And how we talked about how different the audience is on Facebook. And the first response was of one guy saying, "Oh, this guy's back again, is he?" No, obviously he
Unlike the page.
He doesn't pay attention to YouTube.
No.
So he's obviously minding his own business on Facebook, thinking that when he doesn't watch me, I disappear.
Don't exist.
And I don't exist
You should go
anymore.
on that
And I'm
show.
like, have been grinding a fair old audience up on
Do you think
YouTube.
maybe he was just typing his thoughts? Like Facebook does sort of say, "What are you thinking?" every time. I don't know if it still does. I don't know.
Nobody needs to know what that fucking little cuck is thinking, to be honest.
I don't think I was.
banned him from the channel for that.
Oh, you blocked him.
Banned.
You blocked him.
Get off. Get out of
Do you
here.
block a lot of people?
On Facebook, I tend to block more than anywhere because you get more cunts on Facebook.
Just tend to be dickheads, don't they?
No, but because, like I say, people click on my video on YouTube because they want to see that video. On Facebook, it will happen to appear on people's feeds who don't want to see me.
Yeah. So
you get more abuse, basically, and I just can't be arsed with it. Do you know what I mean? I don't give a shit.
Really?
No.
Do you think some people are too friendly on Facebook? Like they're sort of like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's all engagement," is what they go.
I'm not that guy. I want quality people watching. Ideally, I feel like on YouTube we've got a really good audience.
Do you think quality people are people who agree with you?
No, I want to see. If you criticize me, that's fine, but just make it constructive. Like, not, can you get a better table? Do you know, that kind of...
Did you block him?
When I've made a 1.5 hour podcast with someone like Paul Hannaford and we're talking about heroin use, his gang life, how he's turned over a new leaf, what he wants to do in the future, how he's trying to help people, and you're commenting on the fucking table, mate, that's just a waste of your fucking... Like, I look at that comment and think, I've travelled all the way down to fucking London. I'm here. I've managed to arrange someone great like Paul Hannaford show. We've gone through all of that. I've come home. We've edited it. We've got it on the channel. And your comment is about the fucking table.
I mean...
I'm like, what a way. I mean, I know the table's shit.
Right.
It's fine. The table's shit.
The table is shit.
But there's a lot more going on in this video than the fucking table. So let's...
But the table gets in the way. You've entered the world of tables as soon as you...
Andy Grant didn't lose his leg for you to comment on a fucking table, mate. Just saying. All right?
Or did he?
Definitely not for the table. That's...
Do you think people... because that part of it is actually... The army does preserve our right to be able to say whatever we want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is true, but I also reserve the right to ban someone for a dickhead comment like that.
Good point. I mean, yeah, you're allowed to do it both ways, right? Do you ever worry that... I mean, I find it weird because I get a lot of people asking me going, "Can you tell Brian to unblock me, please?"
I think people misunderstood who I was back in the day. So, like, when I was doing the rants and that...
And the bants.
When you're ranting, you get a certain kind of image, and I really didn't like that after a while. I realised I just looked like a fucking dickhead, because when you're in the heat of the moment after a match, that's who you kind of are. All football fans get a bit like that, you know. Mm-hmm. If you're really bitter about losing a game anyway. So that's why I give myself a day or two before I make a video now after the match, because I can see the funny side of things a little bit more. And I don't like making rant videos because it draws so much negativity. So I'd rather other channels do that.
If you stripped away everything about you and you just left with the core, what do you think would be there?
Who am I as a person or as a YouTuber? What do you mean?
As a person. Everything that was superfluous. What, you know, if you took it all off.
Are you looking for a word to describe us here?
No, just sort of a summary. What do you think it would be in there? What's in the middle of that cream egg that is Brian?
That's a hell of a fucking question, really.
Thanks.
I don't know what you're asking for here, though, really.
I'm asking you do you think there's anything which is permanent, like, you know, was always pre-decided about you, or do you think everything is subject to change?
Do you mean my nature? What is it in my nature?
Do you think you have a nature?
Oh, I've definitely got a nature.
Really?
Yeah. I remember things about me before anything happened to me in my life which were very much... The person I am sitting right in front of you now was in there at 4 years old, 5 years old.
But do you think that's sort of presumptive? So you you were told at that age that's the way you are, so that's the way you turned out.
Nah, this was in me from day one. I think
Even as a baby, you were sort of like.
One thing I feel like has gone on throughout my entire whole life was underestimated.
Right.
So that's if there's a word that sums my life up, is underestimated.
Even as a baby. You can't really underestimate a baby, can you?
But by certain people, what I would eventually turn out to be, I think because of the way my dad was, I think a lot of people are just like, he's just going to grow up to be like that.
Do you think why?
Because my dad was a fucking maniac, to be honest with you. So I was pinned on me from a young age of, all right, he's going to grow up to be like that. But yeah.
And people underestimated
so
you.
even now, so I was pigeonholed on YouTube as the rant guy, and then even though I've broken out of that, there are still some people who still think I'm that guy because they're on Facebook, they haven't seen this in 2 years or whatever. But even now, I did that gym video. Now you had nothing to do with that gym video until the very end.
I didn't want to touch it.
Right. But what I'm saying is, because it's so different than any content I've done. Now you've taught me a lot, and a lot of those lessons I've learned, and I'm thinking from directing when we went to do the holiday
Boston
thing.
football.
When you were talking about, all right, where we're going to get the best shot, and all of these things that I've sat and watched and learned. I'm a quick learner, so I like to think anyway, and I've took a lot of that on board. And I got my mate to shoot the gym video. And I said, stand here, stand there, do this, do that, do that. We got all the footage together. I picked the music, I chose the words, and I did everything. And at the end, I asked you to make the music dip when I'm talking. That was all I wanted from you, and to help us with the colour, because it looked a bit too green.
It was very green.
On that video, we've got a comment. The top comment on that video is this has Laurence written all over it. Laurence did this video because it's too good for me to have made. And that just sums up my fucking life.
Even as a baby, people going, this has Laurence all over it.
No, just even as a young kid, like...
people referencing
because
me.
I was a really big, strong lad, young must be thick.
Yeah.
So I've just had that from day one, pretty much.
Because you can't be more than one thing.
I don't know, big, strong people, they tend to be a bit slower, I guess. I just got totally pigeonholed, you know?
And do you ever feel like you pigeonhole other people?
I think everyone kind of does that a little bit. So, like, if a woman looks a certain way, you might sort of think, well, I've met 10 other girls who look like you, and they were a bit like that, so therefore you're probably like that as well.
It's a bit of a weird thing, isn't it? What people wear, the way they present themselves. Do you think, if you changed up what you wore, people would see you differently?
Maybe if I talk differently. I mean, like that Bri-Bri's classic example of like. If that was the first video of mine you ever seen, you'd be like, what the actual
What
fuck?
am I watching? Yeah. It's also interesting. Bri is his other character. The sort of, how would you describe Bri? Where did Bri come from?
If I acted the exact opposite of what I really am, that's Bri.
I think it's a little bit different. I think it's I think it's a lot of what you've observed.
Oh yeah, as well.
I also think it's a little bit of what you like about those people as well. I think you quite like Bri.
I like the innocence of what a clouded view of the world they've got. So when you come from a world where, one of your parents has been locked in prison before, you've seen like real reality of people getting the shit kicked out of them, like in on estates and that. Yeah, I grew up on a council estate, so
I think you're talking about Bri's background then.
And then you see these upmarket, middle class, upper class vloggers who've just they haven't grown up. I'm not saying they don't know sadness, because they might know stuff that I don't have any clue about.
No,
but
we do.
But the persona on the videos of everything's so great and everything's so fun all the time.
What do you think? What if
that
it is?
ignorance that they put across? I just, part of it pisses me off, but part of it makes me laugh. So I just poke fun at it.
So it's sort of, you see it as more naive.
So that's why on the video he gets catfished, because he's so naive.
Yeah.
And he's oblivious to it at the end.
Why do you think there is do you think it's a bad thing that these people are so
naive?
I don't know. Are they naive? I mean,
I think they're definitely naive. If you look at Alfie, for classic case,
right?
Alfie is making so much money for putting out such average, basic videos.
But do you not? He's a kids vlogger.
If you're getting rewarded for being absolutely mediocre, and you're getting rewarded as He's reaping the rewards of what
appealing to kids.
He's reaping the rewards of what the best YouTuber in the world should be getting. The level of money he's on should be, because he's so brandable, he's reaping the rewards of the best talented person out there. But he isn't the best talented. He is absolutely mediocre. So in every other place, if you look at football, the best footballers, unless they go to China, the best footballers, Messi, Ronaldo, are getting the most money. In the movies, you could argue the best actors get the most money.
Well,
debatable. All right, maybe Anthony Hopkins and people like that.
Ryan Gosling.
Don't get what they should get. But do you know what I'm saying? In YouTube and on social media, because it's still so young, I feel like a lot of the people out there who are reaping the biggest rewards aren't the best. They're the people who got there first or nailed down a market quickest. And I'm sitting here late to the party thinking, this is laughable. This is hilarious.
Then could you give him... I mean, that's what sort of surprises me about how frustrated you get about it, because I always think of you as a realist or sort of someone who likes to say things how they are. And the way I read that situation is, so he has exploited that market, not in a bad way, but he's found a USP and he's done it, and he's done it well.
I give him credit for that.
Yeah.
I'm not angry about that.
So again, what are you angry about?
I'm not angry at all. I'm making fun of it. I find it amusing.
Yeah.
But what I am saying is, I hope in 10 years' time, when YouTube has developed into a place where it's survival of the fittest and not survival of the shittest, now that we're going to get people rewarded for great content and not for...
But survival of the fittest is a subjective thing, because you can be fit and be quick, or you can be fit and be strong. And some people would argue you can be, or you could also be fit and be clever, right? Some people would argue he's surviving because he's the clever, he's the shrewdest.
All right, so I think you're giving him way too much credit. I think he's making the kind of content he is capable of making, and he's maxing out on the God-given gifts that he's being given.
God-given,
and we're already
what God-given gift you need to be a YouTuber.
We're always going to have the kids-friendly shit, all right, and that's good, and I think we need that. Fine, but what I'm saying is, ultimately, I want to see great YouTubers be rewarded, and not just people who've got friends who are great YouTubers.
Yeah, that is a little bit. I mean, you do get that feeling that there's an element of nepotism there. But then I also sort of worry, because I don't know. I mean, I think before you become a parent, and I'm obviously not a parent, before you become a parent, you think, I want my kid to have a realistic view of the world. But you also want your kid to be happy. Now, if he makes people's kids happy...
Yeah.
But he's not giving them a realistic view of the world, is it just basically kids' TV, but on YouTube?
I think a lot of it is that right now, yeah. I was talking to Addy Lee driver yesterday. He's from Sierra Leone.
Addison Lee, it's like a London taxi company.
He's from Sierra Leone, and he's come over to this country. He's got his son, and he's telling us all about his son and that. And he goes, my son watches YouTube, because he asked us what I did and that. And he said, he likes the F2. And I was like... great lads.
I like F1, mate, thanks.
Yeah, you're good with the F2. Yeah. But he asked us, like, what kind of stuff do you do? And I said, there's nothing I won't talk about. And we have younger lads, messaging in about losing their virginity and shit like that. And he's like, I think that's fucking great. I would have no problem in my son...
He hadn't seen the content at this point.
No, but he's like, I'd have no problem in my son watching that. But I thought, but some people would. So a lot of people would. Do you know what I'm
find
saying?
that a bit unusual. Like, I don't understand why people want to...
I'm of the Paul Hannaford school of thought of...
Which is?
Of don't hide reality from your kids. Like that is...
But what's reality?
Reality is what is going on out there. Like,
what's going on?
People are having fucking sex. People are taking drugs. People are fucking... people are being violent. Shit's happening. Do you know what I'm saying? I've lived it. I've seen it.
How would you... What age do you think you should tell a kid about those things?
I think the best way to do that with children is to spoon feed them as they get older, more and more and more information.
And when they ask.
So you give them a very brief and small explanation of how the world can be, and these different factors, and the bad parts of life and the good parts of life. And as they get older... give them more, and their brains will adapt to it. But to tell them nothing, and then when they turn 11 go, well, I tell you what, people will be... the stork is bullshit. Do you know the birds and the bees? It's bullshit. People
crying.
are having sex, and sex is where a man pops his knob up a woman. Now, we need a better system in place of what of what that is. It's silly.
Upper woman.
Do you know what I'm saying? But that's the way it was explained.
When-
You go into this room, they put a video on. This happened to me, and you come out the room going, "Well, fuck me. I never expected that."
No, you don't think that.
Do you know what I mean?
At the time, you don't want to fuck anything.
Obviously, that wasn't the case for me because I had prior knowledge. But
You'd lost your virginity.
no, but some people, they that's the way they let their kids find out. If
Yeah, I always find that a little bit weird.
school DVD.
We, I knew from quite a young age what sex was, but it was never. It made it less of a big deal. Like, you know, when you sort of, you know, when
because I remember once saying to a girl, "Let's have sex." Like I was young.
How old were you?
I must have been about fucking 10. And I think I'd seen like a movie where it happens or something like that.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Well, what do we do?" And I was like, "Don't know."
yeah, you just
No
sort of sit
fucking
there and you're
clue.
like, what do we?
Beats me.
Yeah, beats me off.
Yeah.
Do you? What did you do? Did you kiss her?
I kissed her, yeah.
Yeah.
I was kissing girls from about 7 years old. Like we'd hide under our coats and that, and like behind the school and have a kiss and all that. And I loved it.
But not with tongues.
No.
Just kissing.
The first tongue kiss came a lot later. I was in
28,
high
29.
school.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I had no fucking clue what I was doing. But I just liked the little. When I was 7, I was just a little peck, and it was like innocent as fuck.
And you're a bit like, whoa, what is this?
I was like, all the fucking butterfly feelings and all sorts of shit going on inside.
Do you know why you're doing it at that point? Or is it just the social status of kissing a girl?
I was. I fancied girls in the most innocent way you can imagine. So it was like, oh, she's pretty. Do you know what I mean? It was just pretty. What you'd want a 7-year-old boy to be thinking, really. Nothing bad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
There was no malice.
No, I just used to think they were pretty. I had no clue what was going on.
When did that change?
Oh, God, I'd have to say 11, 12, 13.
You just
It was so
started
different.
just- yeah.
It went from 0 to 70 in 3 seconds. Sexuality in it. Once when I started noticing girls were growing boobs, I was like, what the fuck are they? But interested.
Tell me
The
more.
first girl in the school to grow boobs, like she was dog rough, God bless her.
But every boy goes.
But it was like she instantly became an 8 or 9 out of 10 just overnight. It was like every boy was overlooking the dog face and like, but our tits are massive. They weren't massive at all.
Yeah, but to a young
boy,
boy, breasts are breasts.
But the fact that she had them and no other girl did made her instantly stand out. Yeah. She must have gotten so much shit, to be fair to her.
Parents must really worry about that.
I've never thought about it like that, but now as a grown man, like it's like,
Yeah. You think.
If I had a daughter and she was like 12, 13, but she had like big boobs, and I'd be thinking, oh, fucking hell, how's she
Yeah.
feeling? Da-da-da. But this is the thing.
You'd wrap them up, wouldn't
Parents don't talk to their kids enough. I think that they're terrified to have a conversation with their kids.
I always find that weird,
In case
yeah.
what they hear is too much for them.
Do you think that's why a lot of kids do come and watch YouTube? Like, you think people see you as a bit of a father figure, or like a.
I've had big brother sort of shit before, like or uncle or something like that. You
Yeah.
know, like because parents are terrified of having awkward, uncomfortable moments.
Which I just find so weird. Like, I don't know. I've never really had that in my family. Like, I could say anything I want.
Yeah, your mum was a sex health advisor, though, wasn't she?
That was hilariously
No,
fun.
but that is so different. Like, so she's used to that shit.
Yeah, and I guess the rest of my family were as well.
Yeah.
Like, they're just very open about sex, you know? Both sides, though. So not just one
If
side.
I had a kid
both.
ever come to me and say, like, you know, I'm worried about this, I'm prematurely ejaculating, and all, I would be so.
If your son comes to you and say, Dad, I'm prematurely ejaculating, I mean, there's an issue.
No,
Do
but
you know
I'm
what I
just
mean?
saying, for example, if that ever happened to me, I would be so chilled out about it. Like, I just think people are
Just
so,
like your old man.
people are so frightened. But the thing is, by denying these conversations and by putting up these barriers, what you're doing is giving the kids problems later on down the road, because when they could have had these conversations and known, oh God, this is normal, or this isn't normal, or you know, whatever, they're left in a situation of the unknown, and that is the most scary thing of the fucking lot.
I do find I find it weird when people do talk about normal and not normal. I know what you mean by that, but it's like, really, if you class things like that, you sort of end up.
Here's a fucking thing. You talk about normal and not normal. There was
Taboo, not taboo.
A couple. I don't know them personally, but I know of them. They're a friend of a friend. Bring their kid back. the woman had been struggling to give birth get pregnant rather for ages. Finally gets pregnant, gives birth to
a boy, a girl,
a little boy,
baby, a human.
A little boy.
Oh my God, it's a cat.
A little boy. Anyway, I think it was a little boy. Anyway, we'll figure it out. And anyway, 8 weeks later, they go back in for tests and whatever, and they say it wasn't a little boy.
It's a girl.
It was a girl. And apparently, the bairn's genitalia had been the vagina had been born inside out, so it appeared like a penis to start off with,
right?
But there was no testicles, and it was
Genius.
so she's going to need a gender reassignment or whatever surgery they're going to give her. But it just blew my fucking mind, like, because I feel like I know pretty much everything that there is about like just regular life. Like I thought I'd heard it all, and I was like, fuck me,
an inside-out vagina.
That is fucking insane. I couldn't believe it. Why? Imagine that though. You're fucking painting the bedroom blue. Yeah, that's my boy.
Yeah. Oh my God! Now I've got to change everything to pink because there's no way this girl could like blue.
No, but they'd named it a boy's name and all that, so now they've got to.
Let's hope it's Alex or something.
It actually was
Con.
A name that could go both ways.
Jay.
But they still decided to rename it.
Brianetta.
Brianna.
Laurence could be a female name, I guess.
Imagine that,
yeah. But, I mean, that must be quite shocking as a parent.
It would frighten the fucking life.
At least it happens early on, though, when you don't know, when the kid doesn't really know. You know? So it's not like they're like 9 and they go, by the way, that's a vagina. And you're like, so what?
Well, that's a very interesting thing because I've watched a few programmes where kids are saying to their parents, I'm not a girl, I'm a boy, or vice versa.
That was quite trendy for a while, wasn't it?
Did you watch any of the documentaries about that?
I think they're fascinating. I mean, gender is an interesting one. Some people get quite angry about it, you know?
Oh, mate, don't assume my agenda is one of those fucking hashtags these days.
No, I mean, some people get angry about the gender side of things, being given a gender. Some people also get angry that some people don't like to class people by gender. I remember when I went to university, someone didn't want me to refer to them as him or her. They just wanted to use the name or like the phrase them.
Why?
Because they felt it, the language
was it a man or a woman though, biologically?
I mean, if you're going to class them, then I think you'd say did it have
a dick or a fanny?
I never saw.
No, but what would you have assumed?
I would have assumed it was a woman.
Right.
Yeah.
But was she sort of was she middle for diddle, or did she dress more like masculine or feminine?
I think there was a group of people who didn't want to be classed as.
Oh God, it's so trendy, isn't it? I'm glad when you tell us shit like this, I'm like fucking glad I didn't go into university.
No, I think I went to a very specific university that did sort of encourage people to think that way and sort of, you know.
Hopefully they've grown up now.
Oh, you see, but that's the thing, that would annoy them. Why is that immature?
It's so...
This is going to be pissing some people off. Some people are going to be, you're either
so,
born a man or a woman and you're nothing
cliche.
else.
It's so cliche. I've gone to uni, I've had a few spliffs, dad's paying me fucking rent money, and guess what? You're not going to assume my gender. Fucking typical, man.
But why is that a problem?
What's between your legs? Right, let's have it out. Let's have a look at it. No, I'm not going to say that.
No, but so why is that...
Give it to you.
So... Definitely don't do that. But so what's the problem with that?
My problem is I just get bored of the whole cliche. Oh, you will not assume. There's bigger problems in the world. The fact that you think people give a fuck what you are, you're valuing yourself too much, Petman. No one cares.
But I don't think those people are saying...
They're taking themselves far too seriously when they start saying you're not allowed to say him or her to me because I'm special. You're not special. You're not that special. You've all been given a cunt or a cock. Let's make your mind up what you've got and then let one know.
True Geordie quotes. I don't think they're saying I'm special.
They are.
No, they're not.
By asking for separate treatment to what every fucker else gets across the world. They are people.
It's not separate treatment though. They're just saying let's change the way that people act. Do you know?
But what they're doing is they're worrying too much about trivial shit.
Like the gender of themselves.
Yeah, the fact that it's already been decided, mate. It doesn't matter whether I say him or her. The fucking fella upstairs has put a dick between your legs or a cunt.
You're an atheist. What are you saying?
I'm not a full-blown atheist. I am agnostic.
I'm a full-blown atheist.
What I'm saying is I don't know what's going on. But the bottom line is, biologically speaking, you either have a cunt or a cock, and if there's nothing there, then let us know, and then we'll have a look at that. Because you're a medical miracle.
So then what would you do if they didn't have anything?
Well, we're going to have to take you down to the science lab, aren't we, and find out what's going on with you.
But then what would you call them? Would you call them him or her?
In the event that there is no such thing biologically
A mask
as a
will
man
fall
or a
from the
woman,
ceiling, you'll
and
put
we've
it on.
I think we might have an alien on my hand, so I'll say alien.
So
alien.
Now the issue with that is, and I'm only putting it forward to interest you and sort of wind you up a little bit. Do you think then, in that instance, do you see anything wrong with what you've said?
Or maybe I'm being a little bit insensitive. Fair enough. But what I'm saying is, right now, there is real issues going on in the world. People are getting bombs dropped on their head. People are starving. We can't afford to feed
do you
people.
think that
there is homeless people. Nobody cares that much. If you've got a cunt or a cock, just let me know and we'll say, can you take him over there to the toilet or her over there to the toilet? Whatever. It's not a big deal. The fact that I've got to change my behaviour to suit your beliefs, not doing it.
But then
I'm
what
not
if
doing it.
So then what if they said to you the fact that they have to change their behaviour to suit your beliefs?
Oh, no, they don't.
But they do,
so
because
what
you're
I'm
asking them to act the way that you want them to act.
No, I'm not.
You are.
I am acting the way everyone acts. I'm
That doesn't
using
make you
the
right, though, does it?
terminology to say him or her. That's fine.
You see, that's what I find
If
unusual.
you don't like that, then you don't have to talk to me. You can remove yourself away from
But
me.
again, that's a cop out.
It is a total cop.
So what you're saying is, and this is what I find funny about you, is you talk about conspiracies and you talk about supporting people who maybe aren't the mainstream, but then when they have their own issues with the structure, you say then they think they're special. So I don't quite get why you have a problem with them, but not a problem with people who say 9/11 was an inside
you should
job.
question the structure of society.
So these people are doing that.
You're
Why do you have a
interrupting
problem
us
with
now.
them?
You should question the structure of society by all means if you think that it's unfair that there are problems, real problems.
What's a real problem?
As poverty, such as people not having food, these things. But racism. But when you talk about not being called him or her, I'm not being funny, mate. It's far from dropping like the F-bomb or the N-bomb. I'm not degrading you by calling you him or her. I am just simply calling you what biologically you are.
I think a lot of people do, though, get like, so this is what's quite weird about it, is actually those people didn't get as upset, maybe, as some of the people who maybe agree with you get upset about gender.
I've seen some of them, man. They paint themselves up into this bloody... They just look so weird, and that's fine, crack on. You make yourself look however you want to look.
Yeah.
But don't force me to say him. Just I don't even care. Do you know, just crack on. I'll call you whatever you want. Let's crack on. But in my own mind, if I'm referring to you in conversation, I'll say, oh, him over there, he went to the toilet,
But do you think that shows a lack of respect for what they believe?
What do they believe?
Well, they believe
There's
that they
no such
aren't...
thing as men and women.
No, they
We're all
believe-
just spirits.
I don't think that's what they're saying.
Well, what are they saying?
You sound a bit like Prison Planet.
What are they saying, though?
I think what they're saying is that that referring to gender like that puts a lot of importance on it.
Important.
Do you think? I mean,
I think by making a
gender's
big deal
important?
about it is what puts importance on it.
But you're the one who's disagreeing. They're asking for something quite basic and simple. Do you think
For me,
that you're the one who's arguing back?
A third thing. I mean, it's a pain in the arse.
So you're saying
What's
because it's
the
a pain
point?
in the arse for you, they shouldn't have to do it. You shouldn't have to do it.
I'm saying that it isn't a big deal what you are. Why should I have to change my behaviour to suit you?
Do you think there are only two genders?
If you want to refer to yourself as the third thing, X, the thing in the middle, fine. You can do that. I've got no problem with that. You dress yourself up as whatever, mate.
As whatever.
People can crack on.
But don't expect you to take part.
No, I'm not getting involved.
But you are.
I'm not. I'm not involved with them.
So, do you believe gender is man or woman? Do you think it's only that?
Well, I know that there are some scientific exceptions. 1 in a million might come out with both. Hermaphrodite, stuff like that. Fair enough. Do you know what I mean?
But what would you like? What?
I don't know what the fuck we call them.
What hermaphrodites? Or maybe I don't know. I think that's probably an old way of saying it.
I'm not trying
now.
to be offensive.
Insensitive.
I'm just ignorant.
You don't know.
I just don't know that. I'll have to Wikipedia that.
Yeah. And so, do you think people that they're referred to as progressives? Do you think why they're
What's progressive about about that?
Because they're seen as, and I think that's wrong because it's not necessarily progressive to speak.
It's a
in that
sideways
way.
step. It's wasting time. Spending time on shit that's pretty irrelevant, whether it's a man, woman, X, Y, whatever.
But very often you say politics is irrelevant, but then you're using all the rhetoric of politics.
I want politics to be. I want any time that we're using as a group of people to be spent on important issues, education, health, things
what
like
if
that.
part of education is saying to people, and education is part science and beliefs?
You're making jumps here, that massive jumps.
Why is that a jump? So education is knowledge, right? What if part of that knowledge is learning about other people's beliefs?
We can
English.
learn about those beliefs. So, for example, there might be someone out there who thinks that aliens landed on the moon last week and now they're headed for the planet Earth. Do you know what I'm saying? You can do whatever you want, say whatever you want, but don't make me believe it. Don't make me get involved. Let me do
you think
my
they're
own
trying to
thing.
make you involved?
I think that the only way to be fair in this world is for you do your thing, I do my thing.
What if those two things they are binarily different? So at the very core, they go completely against each other.
So what you do then is I say, I'll tell you what, you can do your thing and I'll do my thing.
But what
so
if
you can call yourself gender X and I can call you him. Fine.
What if in a respectful society, what if they become the majority and you begin to lose out because of that? Would you have a problem with that?
I'm already losing out. I've been losing out for a lot of years.
So do you think in the future then that that if they become the majority of the beliefs and you begin to lose out,
I'll be long dead before those fuckers get over.
But your kids could still be here, or a next generation of your family.
Yeah, and I'll be dead in the ground, and on my headstone is going to be, I'm not fucking calling them X.
Him or her. I'm calling them.
It's him or her, right? ...
Yeah.
On the headstone,
and it'll be very eroded.
Now, I've got no problem with what they want. I just don't get me involved with it, please. It's ridiculous.
That's what I find funny. So some people get very passionate about some things, but then they say they don't want to get involved with other things. What do you think you feel passionate about?
I think we should, as a society, be passionate about things that really can help people in a big way.
Get their attention.
I think that the fact that the poverty is what it is, there's food banks, there's all these issues. Let's spend time on what really matters and what can change lives. Me calling someone him, her, X, whatever, isn't going to change anyone's life, really. It's going to make them feel better for 2 seconds. Let's talk about issues that make people...
Do you honestly think
they're going to be able to live?
Do you honestly think those people are asking you to call them not him or her because it makes them feel better?
Oh, it's all about them. It's all about ego, without a doubt.
Do you think it's ironic that you just said that?
There are some people... I'll tell you what. Just give us a second to talk. I think there might be some people out there who don't know what they are, and that's where it upsets them emotionally. And to them people, I fucking empathise with that because that must be awful. All right, fair enough. So for them lot, fair play.
Would you call
them...
them...
For the people who are just fucking hipsters going to fucking university and they've had 2 spliffs and all of a sudden they're independent and you can't put your fucking opinion on me and all that. And mate, you're just a cliche. You're a walking fucking cliche.
So do you think they're wrong because they're a cliche?
Huh?
Do you think they're wrong because they're a cliche?
No, I think that they're just... They what you're saying is, does it make them feel better? And I'm saying, all right, there's some people who emotionally want to be made to feel better, but there are some people who are just wanting to be different. They're wanting to be special. Oh, I'm listening to this music right now. Aren't I so different? Oh,
right.
That, yeah, and it's my thing. No one else listens to that. Those brigade, that lot, they can get the fuck.
Do you think you're ever like that?
I think we all go through periods of our life where we are cliche. I was. We all do. But there comes a time where you've got to grow the fuck up. And I think when you're at uni, there's a lot of people at uni, they just piss us off a little bit.
Do you think, though, you just get pissed off with the minority of people who go to uni, the vocal minority?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The majority who are just going there for a good education, want to fucking go out for a few parties, crack on, that's absolutely fine.
Because that's mainstream.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just, I understand that. That makes sense to me. So, I can understand how I would end up doing that life, no problem.
Do you think it scares you a little bit, the other stuff?
Not at all.
Just, nah. You're not scared of the world changing? Do you get a little bit worried about the world changing?
Not at all.
No?
I love how you're taking this down a really weird turn, as if I am frightened of change and it's changed. It's not at all.
No. You're not worried about that?
I think as long as that what's inside here doesn't change, whatever happens outside of here is irrelevant.
So what if that person doesn't have the words to say what's inside here?
As I've just said, if people they don't know what they are, then I can empathise with that. That must be awful. But for these cliche hipsters who are just, I've heard them on the train and that, man, they fucking pisses off.
On the train.
Do you know what I'm saying?
What do they do on the train?
Oh, you know how they talk and that, man?
How?
The name dropping or...
Oh, Bob Geldof wouldn't call me a him or a her.
Oh, Marissa's going to New York. She's on a photography course.
No, you wouldn't. But that's not. They wouldn't say that, would they? They'd say Marissa's going to New York. Marissa's on a photography course, right? She can't be on a photography course.
We've done this to
death
now. Can we?
She can't be on a photography course, can she? Do you know in other languages they're trying to phase out the gender in the language? Yeah, so in German has der, die, das, masculine, feminine, and neutral.
Because the whole language is male, female.
Well, some people talk about not having that anymore. Not referring to it as male and female, because it is a bit weird to say.
But we're all male and female. I don't get it.
But some of us aren't.
We are.
What if we're not?
Apart from that 0.0001% who've been born with both.
I think it's. But do you think though that's a minority that you're making sound smaller than it is?
Oh, I'm pretty sure if we did the fucking maths, I'm pretty sure it would be a massive minority, a tiny minority.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think at all your masculinity is so linked to your identity that you find it a little bit difficult sometimes when other people challenge that?
No, not at all.
Have you ever had your masculinity challenged?
Never.
I thought he was laughing.
No.
Ever?
No.
Do you think some people...
What is that? How does someone challenge your masculinity?
Yeah, what is that? Do you think...
I don't know how someone would. What would someone say?
I guess they'd ask you things that would maybe make you question whether the way that you'd set your thought processes up were flawless.
I've never even thought about it.
Do you think some people are overwedded to their sense of agenda? So they identify so much as being a man that if someone challenges that, I've sort of been around some of those people who are like, don't touch me. Don't. Some people get very upset if I make a joke about them being gay, and I find that quite funny.
Yeah, I think if you're really comfortable with who you are, then you won't be offended by that. But I think that some people say, whether it be spirit or soul or just your brain, that some people are naturally more masculine in thinking, in emotions, and some people are more feminine. And because of that, some people, if you put a masculine brain or soul or spirit in a female body, that's when you get women who, they come across as butch. People say things like that, But sometimes when you put a really masculine thought, brain, spirit, all of that in a male body, they just come across as maybe trying too hard.
So do you think it's more, because that's what I was wondering with you, do you think it's more just about understanding than disagreeing?
I think people get the wrong idea about me, that I'm really a super masculine bloke. Like I would...
You're not.
I don't know. I kind of look like I am, and I speak like I am.
You did refuse to eat pho yesterday.
What's that?
That soup that we had for lunch?
I did look a bit...
What?
I didn't
It
add.
looked a bit weird, didn't it?
No.
Yeah. I've got another friend
That's not
who
a masculine
also...
thing. That's just it looked weird.
You had a pie. No, you didn't have a pie. Did you have a pie?
I had sausage and mash and
sausage and mash and a pie.
I don't know. I think I'm pretty comfortable. So I've worked with gay fellas before.
Yeah.
And being...
You've got loads of gay friends.
No, I'm not doing that whole thing.
Right.
Oh, you've got loads of friends from insert ethnicity slash gender slash fucking whatever. Yeah. No, I'm just saying, I never feel intimidated, nervous in any group of people you put me in, really. Because I'm just comfortable with who I am. It's not about being masculine or feminine or anything like that. It's I know who the fuck I am because I had to learn at a really young age.
Why?
Because I had to grow up fast, I had to find out who I was quick, and I went through some dark times. I think when you've been through that, you fucking find out who you are. And you also find out who your friends are. You find out a lot when you go through shit.
Do you think stuff is inherently good or inherently bad?
You're just asking random questions now. I don't know.
No, because you said you went through some dark times. Like some people, you know.
Oh, do you think you can find... Yeah, now that I look back on it, I'm better off for the shit that I've been through than if I'd never... I was a complete arsehole, an arrogant, spoiled, self-centered prick.
But then we went on the Lost in Football trip.
But when I went through the bad times, it made me more aware of other people's feelings, and that made me... So, even recently, I've changed recently. I look back at the old podcasts and how much I used to interrupt, and I was more worried about being entertaining than listening to what people were saying. Don't get us wrong, you always want to put on a good show, and you always want people to enjoy what they're watching, but what I'm saying is, I could have been better at listening until Nick Yaris came on the podcast. And with Nick, the way he spoke, I just thought about what he was saying and took it all on board and learned from what he was saying, because I was a man who's been through some real shit, and I can learn a lot from him. And what I realised was when I listened, it wasn't a boring show. It wasn't, none of that, all those fears were gone. And then I learned from that in future, all right, you have to give people a fair crack of the whip, and also pick your chances to interrupt, but also interrupt them with good reason, and make sure that you're asking a question that is going to get more from them. So just little things can make you learn a hell of a lot. That 2 hours changed me forever.
What would you say to someone who isn't questioning their own identity, having watched this video?
I think everyone should question who they are all the
time.
Why not? Why not? It's only done good things for me. And another thing is, if you're questioning who you are, then your head's not up your fucking arse. Like sometimes I watch interviews with people, and I like to watch interviews with people from different walks of life. So bodybuilding, bodybuilders are a funny lot, because their whole persona
that way.
is their job is lifting weights, but it's not like strongman, where you've got to lift weights so you can be the strongest guy there athletically. You've got to lift weights, you've got to diet down, and you've got to make yourself look great. So you can get on stage, you've got as much muscle and as low body fat as possible. So, and it's almost like a bit of a beauty contest.
It's 100% a beauty contest.
It is. So I respect the grind, because lifting weights is a hard graft, and dieting's fucking hard as well. So to go through that I respect that. But when you're on stage and you're in a tiny little bit of underwear, it draws certain personality types into that life. Some of them are beasts, but some of them are a bit
vain.
So I was watching one guy's interview, and recently I was like, got so much to learn about life, you mate. It's more to life than this image that one day this is all not going to be here. You need to have more to you than what meets the eye. And I thought if he was questioning himself truthfully, he would not be so
vain.
I'm not saying all bodybuilders. It's just this one guy. Could have been anything, but I just chose that because it was a recent video.
Do you think you could be a bodybuilder?
Me? Nah. I love bodybuilding growing up. Like Dorian Yates was a really big inspiration, but and he was an actual just beast of a man. I'd love to get him on the show. I've met him before, but the diet, mate, is where
too much.
It's funny because
what do you have to eat as a bodybuilder? What's the diet?
So like you'll get up in the morning. They have porridge.
Great.
They'll have egg whites.
Oof.
But a lot of the time it might be porridge with no water, no sugar.
That's just oats.
Yeah, well, sorry, you'll have no milk, rather, sorry. Everything is going to be pretty strict, you know. You're going to have, it's the same thing. You're basically living out. The hard bit isn't the diet, I would say. It's the Groundhog Day of it all. It's right. Every day is the same food. It's the same tuna, brown rice, brown pasta, the sweet potatoes. And I think after the first day, you might enjoy it. You'd probably like it. But after 4 months, variety you'll be begging for it. So I think that is what, I know Dorian Yates said that he used to have dreams about sausages and that.
Really?
No, don't even go there.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd wake up thinking he'd eaten a load of like bad food for him.
Okay.
and be like, fuck me, did I really do that? Because it plays tricks on
It's a
your
nightmare
mind.
almost.
Yeah, the diet and that. But anyway, I
devil.
just think we should all question ourselves.
What do you think you're going to question next?
About what? About life?
About you, yeah.
Because this is the thing, we've talked about this before, where you sort of think, I've got life figured out now.
No.
And then you get a bit older and you're like, God, I didn't have a fucking clue that
Yeah.
2 years gone by, and you're like, so I don't know. Right now I'm in this phase where I'm like, head down and I'm just a machine. I just want to put as many videos out as I can and make good videos. Like, that's my sort of relentless goal in life. I feel like I'm more
Right,
motivated than most YouTubers out there right now. I'm absolutely giving it as much as I can.
And it's reaping the rewards.
Well, you would have thought it would have grown quicker, to be
Yeah,
honest.
you honestly would, wouldn't you? Jesus, man.
But I tell you what is frustrating. I felt like that gym video, I obviously trained my arse off in the gym when I did it, and I put hours of editing into it and had to sneak the fucking cameras in. You make a video like that. You have a Paul Hannaford on the show who is dropping knowledge, is telling really great stories, and then I do a Newcastle or Champions of the Championship video, which was like half an hour sitting in front of the camera.
That's the biggest one.
Gets more, double the views of those two put together or whatever. And I'm like, to me, I understand what people like about it, but to me that's
Not sure
the worst video of the three.
So do you think it's more that your lesson in the next year is going to be how to harness the numbers that you have in that area and getting them over to the other area?
Maybe,
so it's sort of learning the power of the numbers that you've got, because it's sort of, some people I don't think do that very well. Some people do, and some people do different to the way that you've just described it. Some people go, a lot of people are watching this, I'll do much more of that because that works. Whereas what you've done is you've gone the opposite way. If you've said a lot of people are watching this, great, I'm going to go and do this.
I want, like I said last week, the art form of YouTube. I want to make videos that I enjoy and I'm proud of, and ultimately, when I look back on YouTube, there's going to be a lot of videos I'm like, fuck me, probably shouldn't have made that. Like the rant videos and that. I'm not proud of them, really.
Top 5 Sky Sports.
I want to make stuff I'm proud of. I'm always going to do regular football hangover videos because I like doing them and that people like watching them.
Yeah.
And that's my bread and butter. But ultimately, it's not, I'm not going to look back and say, oh, that football hangover is a great memory. But when I look back and say, oh, I remember sitting next to Nick Yaris thinking, fucking hell, this cunt's been through a lot. I want those experiences, those memories. If I had the money that other YouTubers had, I would not be churning out the same videos every week. I wouldn't do it. If I had all that money that these lads have got, I would be pushing myself to, let's go on make another travel video. Let's.
Oh, right.
We haven't got the money.
Right.
I said if.
10% of the
I want to
revenue.
make videos that when I'm fucking dead and gone, my kids, my grandkids say, God, Granddad was fucking mad when he look at all these things he went on and did. I want to go on a safari. I want to take cameras there. I want to do shit like that. As much as I like making football hangover, I want to leave behind something where people are like, hey, fucking smashed it. I think that YouTubers, and I might get a bit shit saying this, if you're making a shit ton of cash and you're just putting the same video out over and over and over again, not only is it lazy, it's just poor.
But do you think some people just see it as a job?
Yeah, and do you know it's fair play to them for that, and you're right. But there's more to this than a job for me. I want to.
yeah, totally.
The good thing about video, I've lost people in my life who've died, and I looked and I think, now that I know what I know about YouTube, I always sit and think, God, if I'd had video of them, it would be really nice. And the people I've got close to me now, it's nice for me to know that they're going to have so many hours of, probably too much, if anything. But
Yeah.
what I'm thinking
Grandad
is, I
was
want to make
mental.
videos that, if I have kids and all that in the future, they're going to be proud of that
Yeah.
I've done. Do you know
Daddy,
what I mean?
how do we make Granddad's videos private, though, so that no one else can see who we...
Oh, Christ. No, I mean, not every video is going to be like that, and there's some videos that people are going to be cringing at. But what I'm saying is, I just want to I want to put more into it. I want to max out. I don't want to just half-arse it and make the same thing over and
And
over
look back
over.
and think, I could have done something.
Yeah. Why not? Let's smash it, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you are sort of at that point, aren't you? You're at a bit of an apex.
No, I'm my mind is made up, mate. There's not even a question of it. If I get the money, I'm not going to be a YouTuber who harnesses all the money and grinds the same stuff out. What I want to do is, if we make that money, I want to put it back in the videos and make a video that people are like. Some people might look at it and go, "Oh, it's Geordie on Safari," but for me, I'm going to try and fucking.
I want you in that funny helmet that they have in Jumanji. You know that guy who's bloody hell, where'd the thing go?
No, I want to do shit like that where people are like...
So your goal this year, in 2017, is for you and I to go on safari. The true safari. Hashtag true safari.
Maybe not this year, but...
Okay, in 2018, your goal is to go to the Russian World Cup and B... go on safari.
You're trying to sell this to a company right now.
I'm trying right now to, if anyone's out there...
This is a pitch, is it?
If anyone's out there watching and if you have safari in your cupboard, come with us on a beautiful adventure. I'm just imagining like herds of wildebeest sweeping the plains and you just running in the middle of them all.
Like how you fit right in.
Like you fit right in. And then there's me just up a tree or sort of, Yeah,
I've contacted people about this,
about safari.
I've contacted people about doing stuff.
The true safari.
I just don't... What I'm saying is, I look back at what we've made this year, and I feel like up until 2017, I made shit videos. They might have been funny, but to me, they were shit level content.
Absolutely.
All right, don't agree too much.
Right.
We've
never agreed more on anything.
After I lost in football, I thought there's a video that's good, looks
directed.
great, I'm proud of it. Okay, direction.
Look at the end of it.
Well done to Tom, who shot the video.
That final scene when you're walking away.
That I totally planned.
Right.
And that was all my idea. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the point is...
Executed to a T.
That lit a fire under me of, let's set the standard, no more shit, no more just bog standard videos. All right?
Geordie Safari.
I'm still going to do Football Hangover because people want that, but I want to add...
From the plains of Africa.
I want to add to it. We want to have guests on. We want to have great guests on.
What you're saying is, and we'll put it another level, you want to take Nick Yaris to South Africa.
Fuck's sake. I'm pretty sure he's already been. He likes travelling.
Mm-hmm. But you want to go to the plains of insert country here, Tanzania, Zimbabwe.
Don't push us to... I've already made contact. What I want to do is I want to see...
Contact. You want to meet...
I want to see
pirates.
Lions.
Brilliant.
I like lions. I've got a passion for lions. I love lions.
Yeah.
I want to see lions.
I'm big into lions.
Stuff like. But anyway, it's not just about that. I just generally want to make fucking cool videos. I don't want to just do the same old shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Would you sleep in a tent?
With lions around? No. Mm-hmm. We're like a lunchbox, mate. Especially this cunt. Yeah. He'd be fucking hacking at me fucking legs and arse and all sorts.
No, your whole body would be in the tent.
I'd be like the fucking Big Mac for those bastards.
Yeah, no.
You'd be running off like a little fry, one skinny little fry, and they'd be like,
leave him. It's all right, the big tasty with bacon. You know?
That's what I would be.
That's what you would be to them. Mm. You'd be nothing but a fucking McDonald's. You'd be Ronald to them.
Yeah.
What would you do if you went... Now, this excites me because I've always wanted to go on safari. So when you said safari...
Bing, 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 bing.
Bing, 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 bing.
This cunt's always got ideas.
I can see you in a full safari kit. I see you and I waking up in a beautiful tree house. I always wanted to go.
A tree house?
Mate, you need tree houses on safari. The animals are on the floor. You're in the tree house.
Do you know how easy a fucking tiger can get up a fucking tree, mate? Not a problem. I've watched it.
Yeah.
Bears can climb it, everything.
Yeah, but in the time they're climbing it,
I don't want to shoot the animals.
Just with a little dart.
No. You've gone from this left-wing cuck to next thing you know, Ricky Gervais is tweeting about you killing animals.
You can definitely say to the lion, no, don't come up the tree.
Don't come up the tree.
And if you do, I will.
When you're doing that, I'll stand behind you as it latches its teeth around that neck and rips you from the tree. And I'll be waving to you going, I'll keep up the vlog. Don't worry, I'll finish the video.
The True Geordie will finish your work.
I'll finish the video.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, let's go to Africa. Hashtag True Africa. You can put True before any of these series and it's great. True Safari, True Africa, True Zimbabwe, True...
Oh, for fuck's sake, we've done it. All right.
Madagascar.
Right, okay.
You can be the hippo.
It's not just about doing safari. I just want to make cool
It is,
videos.
for me, from now on, it's all about getting to the safari.
Right, okay.
There's no strip clubs you can go to, though. Is that okay?
I'm not. To be fair, I've seen some of the women out there, and
Sure.
the tribe women, they're always naked. So
That's what would worry
jobs
me,
are good.
is that we go there and you end up sort of offending. You're like a Prince Philip
Oh, no,
of
I
the
think
group.
they
Do you
would.
know what I mean?
I think they would welcome me like the king of the north, like I am. You know what I mean?
Sure, are you going to wear like a
Have you
sort
seen
of,
when Pilkington gets carried through that? Like
Are
that?
you going to wear like some sort of Kevin Keegan head mask?
Can we end the podcast now?
Sure, if you want.
I think this is.
Yeah?
This is.
Remember, hashtag True Safari.
How long have we been going for?
Probably like an hour and a half. Yeah. Hashtag True Safari. Don't forget, start the campaign now. Tweet Thompson, tweet. Who else do you want to tweet? Virgin.
No, they're not going to know what they're on about. Send True Geordie
Money.
on Safari. That's
We're going to
the
set up a
hashtag.
Patreon.
That's the hashtag.
If we did a Patreon, I think we could make
you
some.
Right. Tell us in the comments if you're still watching. If
You've turned off by now, but if you're still watching,
would you send us to Africa to do a safari?
if we did a Patreon, would you pay money to see Brian, directed by someone with a great eye, go to Africa on a safari?
Yeah.
Let us know where you want to see him go. Let's see what animals you'd stipulate you want in there. Maybe you want to see him observing a lion. Maybe you want to see
I'd like
him.
to say a rhino.
A rhino would be a good one.
Fantastic creatures.
But not what you're saying is not in a zoo as well. You want it to be in a place where it's like safari.
I don't want to offend people. I don't like that sort of thing. I want to be out in the wild. I want to see
guy myself.
real motherfucking lions.
Firefox. Yeah, that's what you want.
Can we get someone to Photoshop me as half man, half lion as well?
But not like in The Wizard of Oz, where he's sort of
and he's dressed up like a teddy bear. I mean a real lion.
Hashtag True Safari.
Hashtag send Geordie on safari.
Sure.
We need to. Can we?
What?
We'll
just take the table.
Right.
Don't worry.
Hashtag True Safari.
Hashtag True Safari is good. Hashtag take Geordie on safari.
It's a bit much, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a little.
Right.
If I'm honest, that's 140 characters
we'll
done.
settle on that.
Hashtag
Safari.
True Safari. Tweet us. Hashtag True Safari, followed by the fee you'd be willing to submit to see us go on safari.
Maybe we should get the thumbnail for this video something to do with me and you. Like
it would be you and I on safari.
You with a gun trying to shoot all the animals.
with a dart.
Because you're seriously psychopathic.
Yeah, like that dentist. And then you diving in front of the lion, trying to stop me from shooting them.
Fuck's sake. All right, that's it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this absolute rambling bullshit nonsense.
And you've also enjoyed what I've said.
If you have, make sure you let one know in the comments. Leave a like. Thanks for watching. Don't moan about the table, and I'll see you later.
Hashtag True Safari.
Hashtag True Safari.